Hey guys, so one of the big differences that people have seemed to perceive between law of attraction and Neville Goddard is the idea that with law of attraction, the universe or God is outside of you and is deciding whether or not you're going to get the things that you want. And with Neville Goddard, your human imagination is God, and basically, there's nothing outside of you deciding, it's just you. And so I wanted to make a point here and try to sort of just dispel this. It's a waste of energy and time for people to even think about this, because it's the exact same thing. It doesn't matter if the universe or God is outside of you or not, because what it really comes down to is whether or not you believe, ask and ye shall receive. Whether God is outside of you or universe is outside of you, or it's inside of you and it's the same thing as you, it doesn't change the fact that what's happening in your world is a reflection of you. Nothing changes that. Nothing changes that. That is the law. That is the thing that you can count on. If that seems to be distorted temporarily, you can count on it shaking out, and the baseline always being that the things that are in your reality are the things that feel natural to you to have, and that your reality is a reflection of all of your beliefs and thoughts and all of that stuff. So now, I haven't spent a lot of time, I guess, consuming the content that people who hate law of attraction have consumed, and to be honest with you, I don't know if any of those people even really hate law of attraction, because what's becoming more and more apparent to me is that sometimes people just like to argue, and they'll just pick something and they don't even really have any strong beliefs about it, but it gives them a way to channel some, like, whatever that energy is where you want to debate. I don't really enjoy debating, so I can't really relate to that, but where was I going with that? The people that seem to really hate this, I haven't spent a lot of time watching the content that they talk about, like Esther Hicks, or I don't know who else would be somebody who, I have watched a little bit of her stuff and I didn't have any big objection to it. But if there is language used talking about how the universe will not give you something until you're ready for it, that's no different than if it's God and the universe is you, which, by the way, nobody knows which one of those things it is, or if it's even either of those two things. Like, anybody talking about this like it's a fact just feels very strongly and believes very strongly in what they're saying. There are no facts here proving any of this stuff definitively yet, or how it works. So if she says something like, the universe isn't going to give you what you want until you're in alignment with it, that is literally the exact same concept as Neville Goddard saying, your manifestation will appear when it's natural to you. Your world will reflect you, meaning that the things that are natural to be there, that belong with you, will be there. If something isn't in your reality, it's because it's not a thing that will naturally fit in your reality, or there's some belief about it that is preventing you from seeing that it is already there, or preventing you from seeing the way to getting it. This is all mental at the end of the day. So the idea that there's a big difference between the universe giving you what you want when you're in alignment with it, and you yourself being God and intending for something and then it showing up when it feels natural to you, those are the same thing. There is no difference. They are saying the exact same thing using different words. And so if you're somebody who has been a law of attraction hater, try thinking about it. Try instead of looking at law of attraction stuff, because there are a lot of other authors out there you might benefit from. If you're just kind of like rejecting all of that because, you heard somebody say that's law of attraction and that's different from Neville Goddard, try looking at the things you're reading and figuring out what the parallels are, because they're all talking about the same thing. There is no meaningful difference between the concepts in law of attraction and the concepts in Neville Goddard, and really all of the other philosophies since the dawn of philosophy are, dance around this stuff in some way or another. That some of them have hard limits about things where others don't, but pretty much everybody is driving at the same essential components, about all of how we create this and what this experience is. You'll find a lot of parallels. Of course, not everything is, fits into this, but you'll find a lot of different schools of thought that you can find the parallels between all of them, which I understand it's not always obvious. This is kind of a way that I'm wired personally, to look for similarities between things. I don't know why. It's just always been something where I've naturally tried to figure out, how does this fit into what I already know, or how, something that I already know to be true. How do I, without succumbing to severe confirmation bias, how can I relate this? Does this relate to my experience? That kind of thing. And even, it wasn't really until, pretty recently, like when I was I think in my early 40, I'm in my early 40s. When I was 40 was when it really started to all gel. Like, I had read books like Deepak Chopra's 7 Spiritual Laws of Success, which I love. I know people think he's a hack or whatever, but that to me is a great book. And The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. That's another great one. I think that's his name. But I didn't see the parallels between those 2 books and A Course in Miracles and Neville Goddard's works, and Wallace Wattles, my patron saint of money, who I attribute with much of my success in life. I didn't realize fully how they're all saying the same things, because it doesn't always come across the same. Different voices sound different to different people. So it can be very easy to say, this is this and this is something else, when actually it's just 2 different ways of saying the same thing. So you're perfectly entitled to hate Esther Hicks's presentation. Maybe you hate the way she says things, but I think it's really important to understand that it's just another way of saying it and not a different thing entirely, because to view it as a different thing entirely, to me, points to a fundamental lack of understanding of what you're reading. And if you don't understand what you're reading, and you start to base life decisions and actions on something that you think you understand but don't, you will likely have some outcomes that are not ideal, and or just completely and totally waste your time and end up very disappointed. So that's inevitable for some people. That's been one of the things that's been really hard for me to get over being involved in this, is there's this drive to want to save people from just wasting their time on stuff that is obviously not going to produce anything lasting or valuable. I'm getting to the point now where I'm accepting that, that's not necessarily a bad thing. People have to go through what they have to go through. Sometimes going through an experience teaches you a lesson and all of that. So that's fine. But if you're watching this, I would guess that you can probably grasp what I'm saying, and perhaps make a mental connection that helps you to avoid having to go through something the hard way. This has kind of been my topic lately. Can you just kind of avoid going through things the hard way by having the intention to understand things without going through something bad in order to figure it out? I think you can. I think you can, just based on my own experience and based on logic and reason, but also because I think there are hints at that in many great texts and things like that. I think there are hints to that. I don't have that fully fleshed out, but that's my feel. So I'm here trying to contribute to that, and perhaps be a voice that taps somebody on the head about something that helps them to just make a connection instead of having to be shown via experience. That's very valuable, I think, when you can get to the point where you can learn from other people instead of having to do things the hard way. So anyway, I hope this helps somebody. I hope it dispelled the notion that there's some big difference between law of attraction and Neville Goddard's stuff, law of assumption, the world is your reflection. I think there are probably more in this area that need to be. There are a lot of other parallels here that people have kind of missed the boat on seeing that they're the same thing. So maybe I'll make some more videos on that. Have a great day.